Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing into the finale of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. What happens to Granolah and the Heaters? What about this timeline Cell, as they never found Jiro's lair? Who would stop Cell? If you haven't seen part 13, there is a title card where you can go check it out and see what happened in the last part of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. Also, if y'all are interested, I own a Discord server for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe I can give me some of your own ideas of what ifs, and maybe in the future, I could do them. Check the link in the description down below. Without further ado, let's dive into the finale of What If Piccolo Was Never Born. Where we last left off at the Tournament of Power took place as Universe 7 did win much easier than in canon. Then not long after, Goku, Gohan, and Broly helped out the Galactic Patrol with recapturing the recently released Moro before he could do more harm, as he was stopped prematurely compared to canon. Now before going into the superhero arc, we must discuss the events of the Granolah arc, as that changes drastically. With Moro being stopped early before he could release more Galactic Patrol prisoners, that means Android 7-3 is never freed, meaning that the information of Saiyans on Earth would never be known to the Heaters. However, I do think the Heaters and Granolah would know that Frieza's army is now being ruled by the Prince of Saiyans, Vegeta, for a few years. Now some of y'all may think, wouldn't they hunt down Vegeta or put Granolah to fight him? And honestly, they could have. But like in the original story, the leader of the Heaters, Elec, would have Granolah wait, as he would not be anywhere near as strong as Vegeta to face him. Granolah would want his revenge for his people, but would only be able to stand a chance with the help of Monito's set of Dragon Balls. However, the other Dragon Ball would still be lost and found at the same time as it was in canon, so even if they knew about Vegeta earlier, Granolah wouldn't be able to hunt him down until the same time in canon. When Granolah finds the lost second Dragon Ball, he would take it and make his canon wish to enact his revenge against the Saiyans. Once he made his wish, he would hunt down Vegeta by fighting his army. Once Vegeta hears someone is challenging his army, he would go to Granolah, and once he finds him, they would fight without any questions. The fight is intense, no doubt. Vegeta even shows a new transformation, being Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, but even with that, it is not enough, as he is not stronger than Granolah. Now here is the sad part, most likely Vegeta loses here and even dies here. He has all the techniques of Yardrag and could use instant transmissions to try to escape, but that just isn't Vegeta's way of being a warrior. I can see Granolah telling Vegeta who he is and why he's hunting him, as Vegeta would just laugh at Granolah, not showing any regret in his racist past action this time around. And once Granolah tells Vegeta what he did to become stronger than him, Vegeta would just laugh even harder, knowing that he has lost to someone who relied on using a wish to make them stronger, calling Granolah a false warrior. Vegeta would even notify Granolah that even if he kills him, there are still more Saiyans out in the universe. This angers Granolah, forcing Vegeta to tell them where they are, as Vegeta is open to where they are, and how they are much better people than him. Something similar to his speech that he did in the Buu Saga. He tells Granolah that his wish wouldn't make him stronger than Goku, and tell him where they are, not out of spite of the Saiyans on Earth, but out of pride of his Saiyan race. Once Vegeta is dead, Granolah would leave and begin to head to Earth to end every trace of the Saiyans in the universe. At the same time on Earth, the Red Ribbon Army takes Dr. Hito out of prison. Magenta would not want him to create more androids, but to finish the project of Cell that Dr. Gero started years ago that was left unfinished. Magenta would make up a story calling Capsule Corp evil and wanting to take over the planet with the people they allied with, aka the Z Fighters. This would have Dr. Hito agree to help, as they would go to Dr. Gero's hidden lab, which was never destroyed in this timeline, as they would see the incubation of Cell, as he is much larger than what we normally saw him as, now that this Cell is pretty much evolved to his imperfect state. Dr. Hito wouldn't like how Cell looks, as he looks a bit too much like a monster, and begins working on him, mainly changing his appearance, as Dr. Hito would realize that this being that Dr. Gero was working on collected data for years, even collecting data up until now. As the data that was recorded was immense, that he didn't need to do much to Cell. He would awaken Cell, as his appearance would look like his perfect form. Hito would try to give orders to Cell, but Cell wouldn't listen. He would begin a speech on how much better he is compared to anyone in the universe, as this Cell is much stronger than his canon counterpart, as this Cell has the DNA of the strongest fighters on Earth. Even if he never got the DNA of Frieza or Cold, he has the DNA of Buu and Beerus. I wouldn't say that he could have gotten info from Whis because of his angel status, but I think he could have gotten the DNA of Beerus more likely. Cell even has the info on Broly, since he was on Earth for a short time before Cell was freed. Cell would drop a small ki blast that would create a huge explosion, completely destroying the hidden lab, killing Dr. Hito and any nearby Red Ribbon Army soldiers. The explosion would catch the attention of everyone that could sense it. Everyone was confused as they sensed multiple familiar ki and even their own. Kami at the lookout was able to see everything that went on to his horror of this new threat. He telepathically contacted the strongest fighters on the planet, Goku, Gohan, Broly, Raditz, and Trunks, warning them of the new threat and how powerful he really is, as he said that he isn't sure if they would be strong enough to stop him, as Kami would go together with them as the 6 of them head to the explosion as they come face to face with Perfect Cell. Now the power they sense is immense. They even sense God Ki similar to Beerus within him. Most of the group is nervous, even Goku and Gohan aren't sure if they could be enough. Suddenly everyone senses a very another powerful ki nearby, as they will see Granolah exit his space pod and sees the nearby standoff. He then looks at our Z fighters and recognizes someone by their hairstyle. He looks at Goku and gets flashback to when he saw his mom come across Bardock, and knew they were Saiyans but was confused when he saw someone who looked the same species as Monaito. Cell looked at Granolah and thought he was in the way, so he shoots a ki blast at him, but Granolah would easily deflect it. Cell was amused while Granolah tells Cell he wasn't his target as he shoots a ki beam right at Goku, but then Cell surprisingly deflects the attack, getting upset at Granolah for getting in his way with him fighting Goku, so Cell would attack Granolah and their fight begins. Everyone is confused, but the power emitting from Granolah and Cell, they couldn't just let them fight as the earth would be destroyed, so Gohan and Goku would power up and join in the fight to try to contain it. Not long after, Beerus and Whis would arrive on Earth as they sensed a huge treasure God Ki and were curious on what was going on, as Kami would explain what little he knew, but to the surprise of Whis, he would say that the bug-like creature has the same ki that Beerus has. Beerus would step in and stop all the fighting, demanding an explanation. However, Cell would instantly strike Beerus, but this just pisses off Beerus as he begins fighting Cell. But all of this fighting has Cell reached something that he didn't know he had, as a red blazing aura erupts all over his body as Cell has unlocked his god form. Beerus actually smirks as he begins to get serious and their fight continues. This fight excites Beerus as he is trying harder compared to when he fought Gohan. Granolah then puts his focus back on the Saiyans and he rushes at Goku, but is stopped by Gohan, as he begins to fight Granolah, but due to Granolah's wish, he is much stronger than Gohan and Whis can tell. Whis would notify Goku on why Granolah is so powerful, but reveals the sacrifice that Granolah made for his strength was his lifespan was drastically shortened. He tells Goku that there may be only one way to get stronger than Granolah, and Whis begins telling Goku about the fusion dance as Goku never did stay in the afterlife for years and learn about this dance in this timeline. So this would be the first time he hears about it. Looking around, his only option right now to do the dance with is Broly. Even with their height difference, they still have to try. So with some time and practice, before they actually fuse, they would manage to succeed and fuse into Broku. With this fusion, they become overwhelmingly powerful as they power up to the legendary Super Saiyan form, and due to Goku being a part of the fusion, they would have control using Broly's Super Saiyan form and get the strength boost without ever going berserk. They jump into the battle and begin fighting Granolah, and he becomes overwhelmed. He is confused as he wished to be the strongest person in the universe. However, like how Broku explains, they didn't exist by the time he made that wish, so his wish was basically pointless as Broku didn't exist during the time he made the wish. This fight is similar to when Gogeta fought Broly with how one-sided it was. Here I can't see Broku would spare Granolah as he did come to kill them, and Granolah would even say how he killed another Saiyan named Vegeta. They are angered at his death. Even if he wasn't a good person, they consider Vegeta an ally for a very long time. The fuse fighters would end Granolah before Granolah would even tell the story of what happened to his people and what the Saiyans did to them. Once that fight was over, they looked back over to the fight with Beerus and Cell, and the battle was reaching its climax. But Whis would appear between the two of them, telling Beerus that he must end the fight now, as if they keep going they could destroy multiple galaxies. Beerus grew upset at Whis, saying he was having fun, but Whis would give him a serious glare as Beerus would listen, teleporting behind Cell, saying he was giving him a good fight, but he was never truly using 100% of his power, as Beerus would charge up a Hakai and completely erase Cell from existence. Beerus and Whis would return to the Z fighters as Beerus was interested in the fuse fighters, sensing how powerful they are, saying that one day they will have to fight to see how powerful they truly are. With the Earth safe once again, the Z fighters can continue with their peaceful lives. Goku would also use the Dragon Balls to revive Vegeta as he didn't think it was right to leave him dead. With all the threats over, the Z Fighters on Earth would continue training while Vegeta would train on his own to keep his strength up and to continue to lead his army all over space. Tell me how you think about the final part and how it did with the superhero arc. What do you think about the entire story as a whole? I do like how different I took this story compared to when I first did it in my old channel. What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. Next what if I will be continuing is what if Goku wasn't a Saiyan? If y'all are interested and enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching and for the support of the series, and I will see y'all in the next series. See ya!